Hey everybody, it's Rhiannon. I just wanted to do a quick card share because I made a ton of cards and I just haven't gotten around to videotaping. So I wanted to make sure before I sent a couple of them out, I videotaped them. So this first one I made I probably made it like a month ago. But I never did a video on it, so here it is. This is a Gorjuss Girl stamp, and I can't remember the paper I used, but I used a corrugated, let me see if I can get it to zoom in a little bit. I used my Copic markers to color her, and I think I'm getting better at it, I think. Of course, with the dark black hair, that was pretty easy. And I used little heart flat back pearls. I used the corrugated cardstock. And actually, I think this was that spring line. I'm sorry, you guys. But yeah, it was some spring paper that I had found, and I just used a bunch of my flowers. I don't know if you can tell, but I put some Wink of Stella on it. Used some leaves and some of these pearl stamen that I found at Michael's, and just a bunch of flowers. Then on the inside, I used a craft cardstock, and on the inside I used a silver doily that I cut the middle out of and used some white, actually I think it's Whisper White Stampin' Up ink, and just inked my With Love and used some heart-shaped white brads inside and some of the coordinating paper that I used on the outside on the inside. And I think I'm going to send this to my sister for Mother's Day. She lives in California and I barely get to see her, so I figured I would send that to her. I also made this card. I made this card for my mom, and I had to buy this stamp. I don't know if you can see her, but she's the most adorable old lady that I've ever seen. And I bought these stamps. They are art impression by Hampton Arts. And Alex, Miss McCabe Scraps, who, by the way, sent me this really cool, we did a swap. Well, our daughters did a swap, and Alex had sent me this really cool nail art thing. Anyways, so I used that. I love it. It's one of my favorite prints, that houndstooth print. Anyways, Alex had bought this stamp, and right after that I had gone to Michael's and saw the stamp, and the sentiment made me laugh. So I had to buy her, of course, and I thought it was perfect for my mother. So on the front, I colored her with my watercolor pencils, and I put on the front the sentiment that says, "I'm so excited I wet my plants." Used some trim. The paper that I used is actually a new paper stack. Well, new to me at least. I found it at, oh, and there goes everything. I found it at Joann's. It's the Coral and Navy stack by DCWV. Love it. Some of my favorite colors. I'll show it in a haul video that I'm going to do in just, probably right after this, but two of my favorite colors together. And so I did the card in that, but yeah, and I put some of the enamel dots that everybody has been making. I've been making a ton of them, so I used some of those, And so the sentiment on the outside says, I'm so excited I wet my plants. And on the inside it says, because I love you, Mom, happy Mom's Day. And then there's a little plant stamp that goes with it. And yeah, so I'm going to send that to my mom. And let's see, what else do I have here? I made my mother-in-law a Mother's Day card. And this one is just pretty simple. So that old technique of using paper napkins to make pattern paper with, I did that. And I actually made a couple cards with it. So this is actually a napkin I found at Tuesday Morning, and I did a couple cards using this napkin. And I did a couple different cards. So the first one I did was with a green background, and so you iron. Let me know if you want a tutorial on it. I'm sure there's some on YouTube. But so I used this napkin and I put it on a piece of white cardstock. And with this one, I don't know if you can see the sparkles. What I did was, after I put the napkin on the paper, I embossed it with a clear glitter embossing. So this one has sparkly all over it. And then the sentiment says, it's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. And then I just left the inside plain. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these ones, but I really wanted to try the napkin technique. So this has the same sentiment on it, and instead of the green, it has a red background and just another part of the card. And I think, yeah, the inside is empty on that also. So I had a little piece left and I wanted to do something with it. And so I made my mother-in-law a Mother's Day card from my husband. And this one I used a pink background and I rounded the corners. I used some more of those enamel dots that we've all been making. And I put the Because I Love You on the outside. And on the inside it just says Happy Mom's Day. So that's what I made with that napkin technique. My husband's birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I made him a card. And it's just got the little owl, more of the enamel dots. I have so many of those things, I don't think I will ever need to buy another enamel dot as long as I live. I used some twine that I wrapped around the top, and it says, Who Loves You? And then I used some of these metal cogs and gears on it, so it was more of a masculine card. I love bright, cheery colors, so I tend to forget to buy more masculine things, so I'm gonna have to really try to do that. But so I distressed the edges. I don't know if you can see very well, but I distressed the edges on both the cardstock and the little piece of paper that I used on the front. And then on the inside it just says Happy Birthday to You, and I used my blue Heidi Swap ink, which I love. So I made that for my husband, and then the two cards that I have left to show are done with the Gorjuss Stamps, and I just love them. So I made this one for Easter, and I used some pink twine, a doily, some sequins, and some flowers. And I don't know if you guys have seen that Studio Calico stamp that's just the rabbit ears. I wanted it so bad, but my budget says you can't afford a $12 Studio Calico stamp that is just two bunny ears. So I went to Joann's, and in their dollar spot I found this Studio G Easter bunny face, and I cut around the face part and just kind of clipped the ears off and did just the ears, and then I just kind of put them behind the little Gorjuss girl so it looked like she had bunny ears on, and it seemed to work pretty well, I think. I mean, I think it looks good. You guys have to tell me if it just looks cheap or pieced together. So yeah, so that is the Easter card I made. And then the last card I made is with this really cool deck of Gorjuss Girl playing cards. So there are 52, actually there's 54 because they have the jokers in them, with all different designs on them. They were uber expensive, but I just love them so much, and that's like having 54 pieces of embellishment. So I kind of justified that easier in my head. I might be nuts, but anyways. So I just made this card, and it has this little girl sitting on a swing. I cut the two little frame things out with my, oh, I think it was with my top note, actually. My top note die. And then use some enamel dots. This, I used black cardstock, and the little white is a doily stamp that I found, and I just did white embossing on it. So I embossed the little white doilies on the back, and I don't think this has anything on the inside either. It doesn't. But so that is my last card, and I will be back to do a haul video. So thanks for watching. Bye.